What's up guys, it's Kosh and welcome back to RIftbreaker 2. Today we will build a farming base where we will generate all types of resources in the game passively. You won't have to build mining spots ever again. I'll make a step-by-step guide to make it work. But before we start, I would like you to like and subscribe to promote this video in YouTube algorithm. Let's go. So the first things first, you need to find the right location. The best location for this are early biomes with the acid biome. I think it's called somewhat differently. Acidic plains biome. You can get them through orbital scanner by finding a new location, or you can get them by following the missions. So the earliest missions where you need to explore specific area are the best. If you have the outpost there, go there because those areas are the safest. Other ones, they are more dangerous, and the mining outpost area has high threat level and a lot of attacks, so it's hard to get huge area defended, so you will have to need to build a walls and invest a lot of time into the defenses, which is not great. So I would advise you guys to go find your location, get the proper acidic plains that will allow you to get big area, low threat and open terrain, and go there. We already did that. I covered how to use orbital scanner in the previous guide, and now we have this area that I decided to build on. So I scouted the area. This is the layout of the map and I like it a lot. I already set up the headquarters here, or outpost, so we won't lose this area, but the enemies are still attacking here, so you will have to protect your base anyway. The early attacks can be easily protected by your own defenses, so it's not that much of a trouble, but the further attacks will have to be protected by the walls and stuff. There was supposed to be attack, but nothing happened. We still have the trigger on the bottom right, and oh, here they come. So as you can see, the enemy attack is tiny group of enemies. Couple of turrets can do the job, and all right, a bit more. That means that we don't need to make pretty crazy defensive outpost over here, right? So we can just wall off the outer areas which we need with the walls, and maybe a couple of turrets and we're good. Maybe we can actually do without the walls, just make outposts that cover everything. So yeah, the plan here is to use this liquid over here in order to get water and use this bottom area for growing. So for now, it will be a long-term stuff. You will need to secure this area, take out everyone, and add the radar coverage. The enemies will not spawn in the coverage of your radar, so once you clear the enemies that are inside your radar radius, they will be gone forever, and this area will be safe. So that will allow you to make safe area which you can build upon. This is a large project and it will take a lot of time, so make sure that you have enough resources, enough passive resources to build that. Other requirements for making this base are obviously the proper research. We will use the cultivators. They are in the alien research and alien flora cultivation. I advise to go all the way to level 3, but a lower tier will work as well. You can upgrade it later. And basically this is the only requirement other than scanning the fauna and flora. We'll talk about that when we'll start building up. Another good thing that you can use when you're building the base are fusion cores, because they will lower the cost of the construction. So if you get higher tier fusion cores, you can use those in order to save the resources on the construction. The basic one will allow us to lower the building cost by 8%, and that will add up, because if you will get a lot of expensive equipment, that will save the cost and will allow you to build more stuff. So I advise to clear the area first, make radars coverage, and then start building the walls and everything with the fusion core. Or maybe if you are pretty confident in clearing the area with the fusion cores, use those straight away. So that's for the research and the equipment. Everything else is not mandatory. So basically when you're setting up the infrastructure, what I mean is electricity and radars and clearing the areas, you will still get waves, but those are tiny, so you can go back to the area which you already conquered and protect it yourself without building the bases, so you won't spend resources. It can even keep going like that until you finish the base, but I feel more comfortable with the turrets on the perimeter. But you don't need that. Once you leave the area, everything will get stuck and there will be no enemy attacks. So if you will be able to set up the full farming spots, full farming base, and leave it, there will be no enemy attacks, so you won't need any defense. So we secured some area, pretty much what we need. With energy, not with like protection. So we would like to use this area to get the water and this area to farm. I also found huge acidic yeast nest over here, so I decided to leave it there. Maybe it will be need it later. So we will make our defensive perimeter like this. I still would like to get that because some waves they can be challenging because there are a lot of enemies and they can run all around. So we can get a couple of those fusion cores that can replace our armor. That will give us movement speed, build time, and building cost reduction, which will be really good for us. The cost is tanzanite, we have that uranium, we have that, so we can afford couple of those. I wonder if those bonuses stack though, so let's see. Building cost 86%, then we get another one, 72%, that's nice, and 58%, and 44%. And you might find better versions of those from the loot, so they can be even better, but for now, that will be good for us. And I will set up a defensive perimeter, so I won't have to worry about enemy attacks while I'm exploring the area and building up my base. For the defense, I don't think that we need anything that serious, so I usually... Oh yeah, we need AI cores and energy. Let's start with that. So for now, for energy, for the basic energy, we will use gas and geysers and whatever we will find around us. If you are rich, you can go for nuclear or fusion power. Also, a good option is to use the liquid from here to convert it to gas and get power. That will be a good option as well, but I would like to get as much water as possible. So I would leave all that for water production. So let's make a couple of gas power plants. I think we can 100, that's not that much. So now we can make a couple of AI cores. With the current power level, we have 5k energy. That will allow us to protect ourselves. Don't forget to add the portals all around, so you can travel around the area easier. And we have enemies coming up from here. So we can set up our first defensive line somewhere here, next to the acidic east. So the outpost we created is more than enough to fend off the enemies. Honestly, they are coming in such small waves that I think just a couple of shotgun towers, one rocket tower will be enough, and of course the repair tower just in case. But yeah, since we picked up the area with very low hostility, we have the very weak waves, so we don't really suffer here. And if you want to fight the wave yourself and you build in the base, don't forget to switch from fusion cores to actual defensive things, so you won't die during the fight. After the wave you can switch back. You can still fight with the fusion cores, but you will take way more damage, especially if you're playing on brutal like I do. But if you're careful, it won't matter that much, you're good enough. So by building multiple of those tiny outposts, we can actually secure more area. I advise to include something like a portal bomb inside that will have the highest range, maybe even the power rod if you can afford the energy upkeep, because that long-range weaponry will help you to clean the outlying enemies if you would like to use that. In our case, we can afford it, so let's build one over here. But in most cases, if you are on low threat areas, you don't need that much. So small outposts like that will allow you to clear most threats. And if someone will be attacking, you can teleport there yourself and assist or boost the defenses in any way. So let me build a couple more of those and we can start getting the refineries up and get the plantations ready. So I think that will be enough for starters. This is the defense that you can set up. It took me an hour to build everything so far. Nice. So we can actually check it against the horde. And now we need to start using the water lakes, whatever they're called, sludge lakes, in order to produce water for our growing areas over here. If you have several of those geothermal sources around, use them as well. That's a good source of water, especially at the higher tier. Let's actually teleport to the right and switch to the combat mode to see how our defense will hold on. All right, here they come. Let's see. The main thing I'm worried about, the enemy pet fighting is stupid. They go towards turrets mostly. So I'm wondering if they will decide to go through the empty area over here or not. So far, they are all going towards the turrets, so that shouldn't be a major problem for us. Moreover, they are pretty weak, so we shouldn't have issues fighting them. And that will actually show us if this tiny defense is enough against waves on this enemy threat level. All right, bases are under attack. Let's see, do they have the explosive guys? Yeah, they do. We need more long-ranged guys. And I forgot to build the repair towers. So on the south, I can see that the normal enemies are defeated and they only have the ranged weapons left. So we just need a couple of bomb towers in those defensive compartments and we will be good, because I forgot to build them here. As simple as that. But as you can see, the second outpost is okay. Is the south one? It's okay, it actually defeated everyone, look at that. surprising. This one was just too small. We just need to fortify it and add goddamn gates. But since this area had the repair tower and the portal bomb tower, that was enough to defeat pretty much the same amount of enemies. So it's all about what you get, what you build, and how you utilize that. So now, what do? We might want to clear the rest of the enemies if we encounter them, but there are not that many. But our true goal is to pump all the liquids we can find, and in order to do that effectively, you need to space them out. As you guys know, the liquid pumps, they can't have another liquid pump in their radius, so you can build one here or one over here, but it's better to build it further away. So yeah, anyway, our goal is to get as many pumps as possible in one lake. That will maximize our... It can be sludge, it can be the water from the jungle biome, the mighty water. You can use anything. The problem with the mighty water that you need to transport it to other area, which can be really expensive in terms of the energy. So instead we will try to utilize this area for water. And there we go, one lake is completed. Now we need to connect them with the pipes and do this. Well, you don't need to do everything at the same time, like all the lakes and stuff. You can start working slowly, get the pipes through the area, through the region, and then just connect more stuff as you need. That way you will get steady supply of resources and then scale. For me, I already have some of that set up in other areas on the very low scale, so I wanted to make the bigger, higher scale mining base for everything. So I would like get all that stuff together and then start building here. And I want to know how long it will take, so I have the recording going and we can calculate that time. So yeah, just do this stuff everywhere and then you can use that. This small lake provides 1.8k sludge for us, and basically you can get water in proportion to sludge to 1 water. So that's 900 water per second. There is additional way how you can do that. You can create the base in the jungle biome, get the mighty water, convert it in 1:1 ratio, and then you can use liquid compressor to send out the liquid resources, which is water, away. But it consumes so much energy that I'm not sure that it's that effective, and liquid decompressor requires energy as well. It can be used as additional source of water if we will need more of that stuff over here. So yeah, let's actually research the technology. We will need it later anyway. It costs uranium to research and uranium to build as well. So yeah, let me get all the lakes and see how much water we can get from this lake area. It's huge, it will take a while. By the way, guys, when you build it, you might have a good use of zoom in and zoom out. In order to do that, you gotta open the console with the tilde button and type zoom, and there will be camera enable zoom. You do camera enable zoom 1 and that will enable camera zoom, and you need another command here, fog. Air disable fog 1 will allow you to disable fog, and then you can use the zoom to zoom out and zoom in. And this is very valuable for construction, otherwise you'll be way too close and it will be way slower and harder for you to construct stuff, especially those pipes over the acid pools, which will just damage you if you step too close, and yeah, tiresome. So we connected the northern lake and it gave us 10k of sludge, which is a lot. So I think altogether that will give us about maybe 30k, maybe 40. I want to see and figure out how much we can get out of that. So let's start the refinery process of sludge into water. If you are not sure about your base, by the way, during the enemy wave attacks, when they come in, I think it's a good idea to actually fortify your base a bit from those sides, so that way you will be sure that nothing bad will happen to your base and you will survive the attack, because you never know how many enemies will come and what you can do about that. And it works okay, so they don't really stand a chance. We can get back to the things that we are doing. All right, so let's make some water filtering plants now so we can convert sludge into water. There are several ways how you can do that. I'd prefer to have more open space, so those tiny blocks around us will be uncomfortable for that. So this area seems to be the best. Basically, we will have the sludge coming from the one side and water coming from the other one. And since we are moving sludge from the top to the bottom, we will make them vertical. I want to make it scalable, so we will try to calculate it right, okay? So let's make 10 for each like side. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. And that's a like huge production, and you will need a lot of energy for that as well, so don't forget about that. And the same on this side. So that will consume 20 times 200, that's 4,000 sludge, and that will give us 2,000 water. Let's connect the pipes, and we will also need the power. All right, good that our power generation is still good enough for this. But I think we can actually use some sludge in order to get gas and get gas power plants to work as well. So that's another option if you're running out of power in this biome. Really easy to use, but I'd prefer to use it as a water right now. So now let's connect the water pipes from another side where we will collect the water from this and move it south in order to create plants. There we go, 2,000 water. Another thing, if you have issues with the yeast colony that we have right now, it's growing everywhere, you might need to secure the perimeter with the anti-corrosive floor. Just scale to the biggest square you can get. It will cost only 1 carbonium with the nodes that we have for the cheaper production. And by this time you should have plenty of carbonium production anyway. And yeah, just go around, build it everywhere, and make sure that your outer perimeter outside of your defensive towers is secured for like couple of those blocks, so that will allow yeast to grow all around you but not inside of your base. Basically, you decide where your land is and where the local fauna can grow. Make sure that your power connectors are inside of that area, otherwise they will be taken over by the yeast and destroyed, and you will lose power sources to some parts of your base. If you find the ground like this, where you move and you get those annoying explosive things under you, you can hold this space bar and you can dig into those areas and they will be disarmed, and you will also get some palladium from it, I think. This is a bit annoying. The other way to do that is to place foundation upon it, but if you don't want to do that, you can just dig it out like that and they will not explode. I know, pretty annoying, but this is the feature of this acidic biome. All right, we will need way more power for our cultivators, so let me show you how to make power out of the smudge if you want to. Pretty much the same way. Instead of water filtering plants, sorry, being interrupted by the attack, and we'll continue and I'll fend it off. So yeah, pretty much the same thing, but gas filtering plant, and it will generate gas that you can use to fuel your gas power plants. They will produce quite a lot of power, and the efficiency is really good. You get 50 flammable gas per 1 gas power plant, and 1 gas filtering plant converts 100 sludge into 75 flammable gas. So basically, like 5 of those, let's make 6, will generate quite a lot. That's my math for you. So once again, we connect them with the pipe, and then we connect with the pipe outside of it. Just make sure that it's a bit further away, so it won't be connected with the inner pipe. Oh yeah, and we need the power too. And we get 750 flammable gas from those, which should be more, I think. Anyway, now we can use this gas in order to fuel 15, I think, of the gas power plants. Let's do that. So there we go. Now we have 21,000 power production, and we can move towards the actual goal of this video, getting the growth of the resources. As you already guessed, we will use the cultivator. I will use level 3 one, and it's pretty simple. You just need to cover everything with those cultivators. They will need supply of power and water. It doesn't matter where you place them, to be honest. You just need to place them far enough from each other so they can utilize the entire area around them. That way they will be more effective. And try to space them as much as possible so you can have a good use of the land around you. Like, you will utilize most of the ground instead of having an empty spots. The second row of cultivators can be straight under those, but I like to make them a bit to the sideways. That way they will be able to cover more area. So yeah, something like this. And you will need a lot of those. Depending on what kind of resource you would like to produce, you will need a lot of those. We will cover all that bottom area with the cultivators, and they will start producing resources that we need. The thing is, building cultivator isn't everything yet, because you will still need to pick what they produce. First, let's connect them with water and power and try not to build anything in their growth area because, well, that basically lowers the area where they grow something, and if you have resources there, you might want to mine them out. I won't, I'm too lazy, so I hope that we will have enough ground coverage for growth. Usually you do, so it's okay. And then you need to select what do you want to grow. By default, it will grow herba regula, just regular herbs that don't do anything. But this is important. You can select different plants, and different plants will reward you with different resources. Depending on what do you need the most, you might want to start with one resource or another. And the thing is about the acidic biome, it's good because it has loads of water sources that we already found, and it can also grow all three main types of resources. All of those uranium, titanium, and I think even cobalt. I'm not sure about cobalt. Yeah, we can't grow cobalt here, but we can grow the rest of them. So for the uranium, I advise you guys to use those crystals. That's obvious, right? There is this crystal and the other one. I tried growing both. I have no idea which one is more effective, but you can play with them yourself. I prefer this one. It feels better for me. I don't know. Then you can grow palladium with the fungus globulus rosea. This plant grows here, and it doesn't give you that much palladium, but this is a passive source of palladium, and it's nice to have. And another option is Bretus futilis flavus, this one. So either of those will do. I grown this one in the previous map, it didn't work well, so I will try to grow this time. And then you can grow Bretus futilis rubidus, its friend, in order to get titanium. For now, let's grow those things, because we actually used up a lot of palladium for our construction. Sadly, you gotta do it manually for each of those growing plants, so you can't assign all of them the same recipe and then copy paste that. I tried, it doesn't work, so you gotta go through each of those and assign the plant that they grow. And once you are done, you just need to connect them with power and they will start growing things. Come on, connect it, thank you. But that's not it. You have the growth, but you don't have the harvesting. For that, you will need harvesting stations. I prefer to have one right next to each of those growing stations. That way they will cover their area and the area of the nearby station a bit as well. If it doesn't fit somewhere, you can kind of adjust it a bit, so it's not that important. I think one is enough. I tried to make two, but it seems at level 3, 1-to-1 ratio works well. Moreover, they are pretty expensive, they consume a lot of resources and all, so it's better to leave it like that. So now we should be able to produce some palladium. So there we go. This harvesting station on the north already produces 0.5 palladium per second. But then again, it starts clearing all the resources that are growing here by default. So it might need some time to readjust to see how the actual production is. And another good thing that when you have all the production going, you can see if any of your cultivators is growing the wrong thing. We already used up 1100 water, so that will require a lot of water. But at the same time, this is the most effective way to get the resources that you need. And we selected acidic yeast area because it can grow both palladium and titanium. And other option to grow titanium is volcanic biome, which doesn't have any water. We need to deliver the water to the volcanic area in order to grow something over there, which is annoying, and I don't really like it because you need the area to be covered by the ice. And here you can get a lot of free space to grow whatever you want. So let's make a couple more rows to get palladium, and then we will add an additional one for titanium because I don't have any titanium being passively produced. Personally, I prefer to build them in rows, so they will not mess up. We will know where everything is basically. Oh, that was messed up straight away. Also, be careful of those event loot nodes. If you will activate them and you're not ready to fight, they might ruin your base a bit because they can release quite a lot of enemies, so you'd better get ready before you utilize them. Yeah, pretty straightforward. I tried to make everything like structured, so I kind of try to make the pipes and everything aligned all the time so they won't be way too chaotic. It still ends up pretty crazy, but you know what I mean. Try to make sure that you will be able to go back to it later and fix if something is wrong. and maybe readjust it a bit, that kind of stuff. So now we have pretty good amount of harvesting stations and growing stations, and each of those produces around 1 palladium per second. Let's check the map. It will tell us how much do we produce here. So yeah, we get 15 palladium per second without building any mines, and that will stay with us forever. So that's really important to do stuff like that. Now let's create the titanium and like grow more stuff. I want to see how long it will take me to get all the resources going. And yeah, as you can see, it costs a lot of power and a lot of water, and probably later on you would like to import the water from the jungle biome, but before that you need to set up everything to generate all the resources. That will allow you to wait a bit, and you will be able to build nuclear fusion power plants that will allow you to get way more energy way faster. So that's like 3.5k energy for level 1 fusion power plant, and it costs not that much right now because of our construction modules. So let's add additional chain of water filtering plants to get 2k more for titanium. This small thing almost used up all this lake to the north. We can get more, of course, but it will take time. I think I would like to clear this yeast later on and use this area as well. So when you set up everything correctly, all those areas will bring you resources, and there is a one way how you can optimize its growth and increase it. Basically, you will need to scan those plants that you grow in, because leveling them up will increase your yield. You can do it manually by the scanner, which is like slow. Oh, actually not that slow, it's not that bad. Or you can use the scanning turret. You can just place it and it will scout all the available things around you, around it, and usually will allow you to increase familiarity with some plants, and then that familiarity will increase the bonus resources for harvesting those plants. So this is the one we are growing right now in order to get the palladium, and we get 6% bonus resources to get it. That will not significantly, slightly increase our gains, so it can scale. But I mean, it's not that crazy. If you're walking past it, you can drop a couple of those, that won't hurt. So now this base produces 17 palladium and 13 titanium, and you can just like that grow all other resources here other than the ones that don't grow here. So for example, I think the only resource that you can grow here out of the main metals is cobalt. You need to go to the forest biome to do that, and it will be way easier to grow it there as well. I have separate farm set up for that one in the proper biome, and I think it's tanzanite, the purple stone, or crafting? Yeah, tanzanite and hazanite can't grow here, but the rest of the stuff can be grown in the acidic biome. Now, if you want to grow stuff in other biomes, you need to use that technology of transportation, liquids compression. Luckily, we finished the level 3 research, so we can actually utilize it to transport, let's say, water from the forest biome to this biome, because I don't want to build stuff. And I can showcase you how it works. Ooh, 3 hours into this video, guys. Like, subscribe, because it's taking a while, but I've connected all the pools that are inside of our area in one huge network, and we have 25k sludge, so we can get a couple more water filtering plants around us and get more growth. So we have 8k water, and we still have some extra sludge left for either power or whatever we will need. Actually, we will need more power, I think. So since now we can produce, and we already produce, all the energy passively, we won't ever run out of anything. I would like to make a couple of fusion power plants that we can use to produce extra energy, and we can use that plasma to produce super plasma for our super weapon. So you can either get more gas power plants or change for something else. So here we constructed the plasma converters that use plasma to create super plasma, which then will be transported through the liquid compressors. If I did everything right. Yeah, we're good. So now we can select which resources we would like to decompress in the decompressors in this area, and let's check if it's available in other regions as well. Yes, we have available super plasma right now in other areas as well. So we can produce water in one region and move it to other region using this technology if we want to. It can be quite costly, but since we get the production of all those resources pretty much passively right now, we can create as many of those power production things as we want. So we can create multiple nuclear power plants, multiple fusion power plants, and you'd use that energy for anything. Sadly, you won't see it in the production screen over here. You only see the actual resource that you produce, but that will be in that liquid storage that's shared between your colonies. So yeah, you can use this base and scale it. In our case, we can get rid of all this acidic yeast and take over this area for more growth, import water from other areas, or you can create additional colonies and build additional production over there. And that's how you can farm all the resources in the game, by building the proper growing facilities, and that will supply you till the end of time. Especially when you get to the mega structures, you need a lot of resources, and I decided that this is a way to go. Instead of running from one area to another infinitely, farming the resources, growing them is a better option. Let me know what you think about this guy down below in the comments. Don't forget to like and subscribe to promote it in YouTube algorithm. It took me 3 hours to create, and check out the playlist for the rest of the guides and the videos on the RIftbreaker. Thank you very much for watching. It's been Kosh. Have a good one. Bye.